Hey guys, Dimension Studios here, how you guys doing? So in my previous video, I talked about my personal positive and popular opinions when it came to the show. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over my personal neutral and popular opinions related to the show. Now by neutral, that's where I'm talking about something that in my opinion either isn't that good, but I don't think it's that bad, and I may consider it to be overrated, or something that I consider to be better than something else. Again, this isn't like outright positive or outright negative. But again, this is all just me. So again, let's just get into this whole thing. For my first neutral and unpopular opinion that I have, it's this. I don't think that Jaya is the best couple in the show. You see, my main issue that I have with the couple is this. Jay, in my opinion, he is really good, and when it comes to the couple, and in my opinion, and I just have no issue with him. Nia, on the other hand, in my opinion, she's the issue that I have when it comes to this couple. Mainly because it seems like she isn't really like as much into the couple as Jay is. Like when it comes to Nia, it took her all the way until season 6 for her to finally admit that she had feelings for Jay, and it took her all the way until season 15 for her to finally say I love you to Jay, despite the fact that Jay's been saying that he loves Nia just a whole bunch throughout the show. And even then when it comes to Nia, I'm not even sure if that really counts, considering the fact that Nia, she didn't even directly say it to Jay. She said it to Jay while he was outside of a building. So she could have been saying it either to Jay or just to the rest of the ninja in general. As a sort of like found family type thing going on right there. Again, I don't think that this couple is bad by any means, but I just don't think it's that great, honestly. And in my personal opinion, and just out of all the couples that the ninja have been in, like out of all the actual canon couples, this one, in my opinion, is the least healthy out of all of them. For my next neutral and popular opinion that I have, in my opinion, season 2, it's not as good as people tend to say it is. Now, for me, I personally think that Legacy of the Green Ninja, it's an alright season in my opinion, but again, I just don't think it's as good as people tend to say. It's just, here's my big issue that I have with this season. And season 2 suffers from the exact same problem that season 11 does, only worse in my opinion. Basically what I mean by that is this. When it comes to both seasons, for the first half of the season, not a lot of plot happens. Like, there's stuff here or there, but there's nothing anything like too big. Yet in the second half of the season, things get really good, and then things just get overall a lot better in my opinion. Except the reason why I say that season 2 has it worse in this situation is because you can split apart the Fire and Ice chapter into their own separate seasons when it comes to season 11. When it comes to season 2, you can't do that. So again, in my opinion, that's just why the season just has a bit more of an issue going on there. Again, I think that season 2 is good, just again, not as good as people tend to say it is. Speaking of season 2, actually, that actually kind of relates into my next unpopular opinion that I have, which is this. Dareth, in my opinion, used to be a really good character. When Dareth was first introduced into the show with season 2 and for the way things were for the first few seasons he was in, Dareth was a pretty good character, honestly. He was funny, meant well. Lan tried to do whatever he could in order to help out the ninja, although he was mainly there just for comic relief, and in my opinion, he was actually a pretty funny character for a majority of the time. Then season 6 rolls around, and Dareth basically just turns into a guy trying to get rich off the ninja's success. Just, that always felt really weird in my opinion, mainly because this just doesn't really feel like Dareth. Just, the one and only time prior to this ever happening was during season 2, where Dareth just wanted money, and even then, the only reason why Dareth wanted money was so that way he could keep the Mojo Dojo open. So he was doing it so that way he could keep his business running. And yet now he's doing it for personal gain, basically. And I didn't like that when it came to this version of Dareth, it continued all the way through season 8, and it wasn't until season 9 where we finally got a good Dareth again, with him doing whatever he could in order to try and help out the Resistance. And I'm personally really glad that this version of Dareth returned in season 15 briefly. Just, again, I really liked that, actually. So again, in my opinion, Dareth, he used to be a pretty good character, but then season 6 rolled around and then pretty much made him a less great character, in my opinion. And again, this version of him stuck for a while until season 9, where he finally became a great character again. So yeah, there's that. Next unpopular opinion that I have. But season 9 is better than season 8. When it comes to the Oni trilogy, the debate always goes around for which season is better. Season 8 or season 9. Season 10 is almost universally agreed upon by fans to be the worst season in the Oni trilogy, so there's that. So again, the debate is between the first two seasons. And in my personal opinion, season 9 is the better season. Mainly because, in my opinion, season 9 just took all the good stuff from season 8 and just did it better. A more ambitious and different story, more dark and mature stuff that was going on, and more interesting stuff going on when it came to Lloyd's character, and a bit of a more different dynamic going on between Lloyd and his dad. Again, a whole bunch of stuff when it came to season 9 was just done better in this season than compared to season 8. In my opinion, again, season 9 is the best season we got from the Oni trilogy. Next unpopular opinion that I have, Sorla was a much better mentor than Mistake was. When it came to both these characters, they were both the whole elderly women who were mentors to the ninja. Except in my personal opinion, again, Sorla was the much better mentor. Mainly due to the fact that when it came to Sorla, she was actively helping out the ninja in any way she could. Just giving them some advice basically throughout the season, especially when it came to Nia, helping her out in any way possible when it came to Nia learning to control snow and ice with her water powers. That was something really great in my opinion, and I really liked it. Meanwhile, when it came to Mistake, she was just way too vague with pretty much everything she said or did. In some situations, it seemed like she couldn't care less about what happened to the ninja, and she was just kind of letting stuff happen, basically. And in a lot of situations, never gave a straight answer towards anything. And, okay, this doesn't relate to either one of them being mentors, but I just want to throw this out. In my personal opinion, the whole twist of Misake being an Oni honestly feels like it comes out of nowhere. Or, like, there's practically no setup to it, save for, like, one really small instance of it happening the episode prior, or to the reveal actually happening. Like, in my opinion, the whole twist of Zane being a robot was a much better, well-done twist that comes out of nowhere. Because in a way, it actually makes sense when you look at it. Meanwhile, Misake being an Oni, again, that honestly just feels like it comes out of nowhere. Right next, unpopular opinion, it's this. Vanya is overrated. Now, I don't think that Vanya is a bad character by any means. I just don't think she's that good of a character. You see, my main issue with her is this. Compared to other ninja allies, Vanya is just boring by comparison. Like, when it comes to ninja allies, we generally get one of three things when it comes to them. We either get some kind of big twist related to them, they'll have something related to their backstory, or they'll go through some sort of big character development thing throughout the season. When it comes to some kind of twist, we don't have that when it comes to Vanya. Like, you could make an argument for Vangelis being the Skull Sorcerer, except that's really more a twist for Vangelis and the Skull Sorcerer, considering we always knew that King Vangelis was Vanya's dad, so that's not really a twist. When it comes to a backstory for Vanya, we get nothing related to that. And in fact, we don't get any kind of backstory related to anything from Shintaro at all. And in my opinion, we definitely need something like that. And when it comes to any kind of character development, once again, we don't really get that when it comes to Vanya. She kind of just remains the exact same character all throughout Master of the Mountain, not really changing at all. Which in my opinion is a bit of a shame, considering we had been on a pretty good track record for the previous two big ninja allies when it came to the Wyvern era of the show. Akita and Okino, who did end up going through big character development and stuff throughout their seasons. Meanwhile, when it comes to Vanya, again, we just don't get that. Plus, also, in my opinion, at times Vanya can be kind of annoying when it comes to her fangirl. And, hey, I mean, she's a love interest for Cole, so, I mean, that's something, honestly. But, again, in my opinion, Vanya is just overrated. Like, again, I don't think she's bad, but I just don't think she's that great. The most positive way I can probably put this whole thing is this. In my opinion, when it comes to Vanya as a character, she's okay at best. Again, that's probably the best way that I can put it. And for my final neutral and popular opinion that I have, it is this. In my personal opinion, the ship between Lloyd and Akita is a much, much better ship than the ship between Lloyd and Harumi ever was. My main issue when it comes to Lloyd and Harumi is this. This ship is just toxic when you look at it. I mean, Harumi was doing whatever she could to try and just make Lloyd suffer and never cared about him one bit. All she ever did was manipulate and hurt Lloyd, and again, just tried to make him suffer, even going so far as to try and kill him multiple times during Season 8. Like, it's pretty clear that Harumi hated Lloyd, and she even admitted to Lloyd during the Season 8 episode Dread and Arrival, and I quote, "There was never anything between us." So yeah, it's pretty clear that Harumi does not like Lloyd. Plus, also not to mention, there's the fact that Harumi is Lloyd's sister because Garmadon adopted Harumi during the Season 9 episode, Two Lies, One Truth. So that just only makes this whole thing even worse. And in my opinion, when it comes to the ship between Lloyd and Harumi, it is easily the worst ship in the entirety of the show. mainly because just, again, of how toxic and abusive it is. Also, again, it's a ship between two siblings. Meanwhile, when it comes to Lori and Nikita, this, in my opinion, is the best couple in the show, actually. Mainly just because Lori and Nikita, they are actually very similar to each other, which is really great in my opinion. The two of them, they really care about each other a lot, actually. They have believable romantic chemistry all throughout the ice chapter. And by the end of the ice chapter, they were able to help the other one and overcome their trust issues and become better people as a result. Like, the two of them, they both played a big part in the other one's growth throughout the ice chapter, and I really like that. Plus, again, you can tell that the two of them do really care about each other, and the two of them do love each other. And considering what we got at the ending of the ice chapter, it really shows just how much the two of them do really care about each other. And I personally really hope that Akita shows up again at some point so the two of them can continue more on with their relationship, especially considering just everything the writers did to set up this relationship during the ice chapter. Just seriously, writers, when's Akita going to be coming back? Please, give us an answer on this. And so, yeah, that's basically all I got for you guys. So tell me down below, what do you guys think? What are some of your guys' neutral and popular opinions that I have related to the show? Tell me down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Later, guys, this is Dimension Studios, signing off.